This is my neighbor's grass. It is just so green and beautiful and lush and just a really pretty green. You know, the grass is greener on the other side. Now this is my backyard. This is my grass. And as you can see, it's just really a bunch of weeds. No grass.
Our grass used to look beautiful like that, but unfortunately our irrigation system started to not function properly. So then now our grass wasn't getting the water that it needed and it started to die out. But for some reason the weeds that was in there, and you know, back then it was just a little bit of strands here and there, those weeds are resilient. They didn't need much water, so they started to grow and flourish more, and it was easier for them to take advantage of the nutrients in the soil because the grass was dying out. They didn't have to compete for those nutrients in the soil, you know, as hard as they had to compete before. So this kind of reminds me of our gut. You know, there's a good healthy balance of the good and bad bacteria. At least that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's the way it is in a healthy body. But sometimes that good and bad bacteria, it gets reversed. There ends up being more bad instead of good. That happens when we have a poor diet, when we're eating processed foods, a lot of sugar. But I would say more than anything, it's those antibiotics, you know, that does that throws off that balance. You see, the antibiotics, it kills off the good and the bad bacteria. But for some reason, you know, that bad bacteria, just like the weeds, they're kind of resilient, and they can take a licking and keep on ticking, and sometimes they even become resistant to the antibiotics, so they start to grow more and or not die off as much, whereas the good bacteria is just dying off. There's just no more of them. Okay, so the bad bacteria, being a opportunistic, you know, pathogen, they take advantage of the opportunity of not having to compete so hard for the nutrients, and they go and they eat more. Okay, you know, the good bacteria is dying, so they go and they eat more, and before you know it, you have more bad bacteria. It's growing, it's flourishing. There's more bad than the good, and when that happens, you have a yeast infection.